Rise and shine. Red flags of narcissists. Take heed to what I'm about to share with you when it comes to dealing with the mother of who you're dealing with. Because if a woman is all in their son's mix, she has raised him to be a mama's boy, and he can do no wrong in her eyes, and you'll be able to gauge that based off the conversations. She is going to kind of mirror the things that you say about him. It's really creepy, and she might do nice things for you every now and then, but it's not genuine. The woman could be very tacky, and then she will get you tacky things because that's the kind of stuff that she likes. Story time. So my ex-mother-in-law, she would occasionally do nice things. It was very rare though, very rare. Like one time she came over and she brought me sushi because she knew that I like sushi, and she tried to, I guess, connect in that way, like, oh, I love sushi too. And so she came over, she brought me some, and I'm thinking, oh, this lady, she's cool, she's nice, because my ex had told me she doesn't like anybody. So this is another ploy that perhaps the narcissist does too. Like, he'll tell you that his mother doesn't like anybody, but she'll come off and be a little bit nice to you in the beginning, so you can let your guard down and think that, well, this woman likes me, like, oh, maybe I'm special. He used to tell me how rude she was to his exes or people he's dated in the past that may have come around his mom, that she would be flat out rude, wouldn't talk to them. But okay, she started, warming up to me, and I thought it was gonna be slightly different. This kind of woman will have a conversation with you, but she's sizing you up the whole time. She's studying you. She knows what to ask. She knows what to figure out about your weaknesses and vulnerabilities. So if she knows that you might have some issues with anybody in your family, because she's prying into that, right? She'll know how to coach her son and guide him to further manipulate you and treat you, because if you've let your guard down and you've exposed your insecurities because you're just being kind of an open book and sharing things, well, they take advantage of that, of knowing certain things they want to weaponize you with and use it against you. They also will be trying to triangulate you with other family members of theirs that they do not like. They'll try to tell you that this person was a bad person. For example, my ex, his aunt lived right across the street from us, and he made it known that at first he was like, he didn't like her. He was like, I don't trust her. But she came over and introduced herself to me after we had our son. And she's like, I really want to be in his life, as his great aunt. And if I had listened to my ex and his mom, I wouldn't have gotten to know her. I would not have given her a chance. But I followed my intuition, which told me, like, give her a chance. So I did. And she was actually the one that I had, I could find reliable, because my mother-in-law, she would make me late to work when we were accounting on her to babysit our son because she was retired. But she would show up late sometimes, saying that she overslept. Like, you can't be oversleeping when you know that you have to go and babysit your grandson because his parents have to go to work. So, but she didn't care. It would be so like, oh, I'm sorry I overslept. And then I'd go to work, and I had that type of job where you had to be there at a certain time, and it was stressful. So I ended up feeling like I can't do this job anymore because I need something like, with more flexibility. I can't be tied down to a 9-to-5 type of job. Or actually, it was like a 8 to 6. I had to be there by 8 in the morning, I think. And she was making me late occasionally, and I was not going to fly in corporate America. And when I would talk to my ex about it, like, hey, you got to talk to your mom because she's made me late multiple times. Oh, I'll talk to her, don't worry about it. But it would happen again. And I was growing frustrated with that. So anyway, I found a daycare that I could bring him to where I could get him there by a certain time, and not have to rely on somebody showing up to my place to sit at home with him. Anyway, and that worked out better. I was the employee that was hired from out of state to continue to work with my boss because that's how dependable and a hard worker and great ethic that I had brought to the table. But when you are around toxic individuals, it will start making things more difficult for you to perform at your best. Like, you'll end up becoming late to work and things like that because you have the wrong people. You have the crabs in the barrel that are trying to bring you down in your career, and then they want to flip it and blame you for that. So it was like, then my ex was holding things over my head when I ended up going into retail and getting a retail job and making a lot less money than I was. So I was just like, well, and I felt a bit responsible. It would make me anxious. I felt guilty for leaving that job, but I just felt like I wasn't able to perform how I did as a single individual now that I had a child and a family. I couldn't do it in my mind anymore. And we had split the bills. So when I made less money, we continued to split the bills, which was not fair, but I felt guilty and I felt responsible for making the decision to leave that job. But my ex never stepped up and said, no, now that I'm making more money, then I'll contribute more. But it's like, some women end up contributing half financially, and then they're contributing even more because the partner, if they have a partner that's highly narcissistic, they're not going to be as involved as an equal parent with their child either. And then his family members are not always going to be as supportive either. They're going to be strategically placed to be like the crabs in the barrel, to bring you down and have you more as a codependent than an equal or whatever partner.